What if the very treatments meant to preserve beauty ended up destroying it? Some of the most famous faces in Hollywood didn't just age, they changed in ways that shocked even their most loyal fans. Today, we'll take a closer look at these transformations, uncover what really went wrong, and reveal the warning signs everyone should know before it's too late. Linda Evangelista, a shocking case of cosmetic complications. Linda Evangelista was once one of the most celebrated figures in the fashion world, a supermodel who appeared on the covers of the most prestigious magazines and famously said she wouldn't get out of bed for less than $10,000 a day. Her name became synonymous with beauty, confidence, and success. However, her life took an unexpected and troubling turn after she chose to undergo cool sculpting, a non-invasive fat reduction treatment widely promoted as safe and effective. Between 2015 and 2016, Evangelista underwent multiple sessions, hoping to maintain her well-known figure. Instead of achieving the desired results, she developed a rare condition called paradoxical adipose hyperplasia. This complication caused certain areas of her body, such as her chin, thighs, and chest, not to shrink, but to harden and expand into noticeable bulges. For someone whose career depended on physical appearance, this was especially devastating. In an effort to correct the damage, she later underwent 2 surgical procedures. Unfortunately, these interventions were not able to fully restore her previous appearance. The physical changes had a profound impact on both her personal life and professional career. Once constantly in the public eye, she gradually withdrew from modeling and public appearances, choosing privacy over continued scrutiny. Evangelista's experience is more than a personal hardship. It stands as a meaningful warning in a culture that often places extreme value on youth and perfection. Her story reminds us that even treatments considered safe can carry risks, and that the pursuit of ideal beauty can sometimes come with unexpected and lasting consequences. Cayetana Fitz-James Stewart, the Duchess of Alba, a symbol of dramatic transformation. Cayetana Fitz-James Stewart, widely known as the Duchess of Alba, was not only one of the most titled aristocrats in the world, but also a living link to centuries of European history. Born into immense privilege, culture, and noble lineage, she represented a fading era of old-world aristocracy, one often associated with grace, tradition, and quiet dignity in later life. Yet, as the years passed, her public image became increasingly defined by a visible struggle against aging. Beginning in the 1980s, she reportedly turned to cosmetic procedures in an effort to preserve a youthful appearance. Over time, these treatments are believed to have included facelifts, rhinoplasty, dermal fillers, and Botox. What may have started as modest adjustments gradually evolved into more pronounced changes. Her once distinct features appeared tighter and more rigid, sometimes described by observers as mask-like. Public attention intensified in 2011, when she married a man 24 years younger at the age of 85. While the marriage itself drew headlines, much of the conversation centered on her appearance. To some, her face seemed unusually taut and sculpted, even wax-like under the Spanish sun, quite different from the natural elegance she had once embodied. There were also reports suggesting she may have had a rare neurological condition known as Melkerson-Rosenthal syndrome, which can cause recurring facial swelling. However, this was never definitively confirmed. If present, such a condition could have contributed to her changing appearance, potentially complicating the effects of cosmetic treatments. Despite public scrutiny, the Duchess remained a beloved and distinctive figure in Spain, remembered as much for her individuality and spirit as for her extraordinary life story. Dolly Parton, the most open and self-aware icon. Dolly Parton has long been admired not only for her music, but also for her refreshing honesty. She once joked, "It costs a lot of money to look this cheap," a line that perfectly captures her humor and self-awareness. Unlike many public figures, she has never tried to hide the effort behind her signature appearance. In an industry where cosmetic procedures are often discussed quietly, Dolly has always been upfront. With her sparkling outfits, high heels, and unmistakable charm, she steps into the spotlight without pretending to be anything other than herself. Beginning in the 1980s, as her career reached new heights, she also began making changes to her appearance. Over time, these reportedly included procedures such as rhinoplasty, brow lifts, eyelid surgery, facelifts, along with the use of Botox and dermal fillers. What may have started as subtle enhancements gradually became part of a carefully shaped public image, one that matched her vibrant, larger-than-life personality on stage. Her look has certainly evolved over the years. Her features appear smoother and more sculpted, and at times less expressive than in her earlier days. Yet, unlike many others, Dolly has never treated these changes as something to hide or apologize for. Instead, she embraced them as part of her identity, playful, confident, and entirely her own. She has even said that she enjoys looking like a cartoon version of herself. In many ways, Dolly Parton is not a cautionary tale, but rather a rare exception. Someone who chose to age on her own terms, with honesty, humor, and a strong sense of self. Lisa Rinna, the story behind the iconic lips. Lisa Rinna became known for many things throughout her career, but nothing shaped her public image quite like her lips. Features that drew headlines, public fascination, and, eventually, widespread attention in popular culture. What began as a personal cosmetic choice ultimately became one of the most talked-about aspects of her identity. In 1986, at just 20 years old, Rinna made the bold decision to undergo silicone lip injections in pursuit of a fuller, more glamorous appearance. Initially, the results seemed successful. Her fuller lips quickly became her signature look, well before the trend gained mainstream popularity in later decades. For a time, this distinctive feature helped set her apart in the entertainment industry. However, what started as an enhancement gradually developed into a long-term complication. Over the years, the silicone began to harden, leading to scar tissue, swelling, and an uneven texture. After living with these effects for decades, Rinna eventually chose to undergo corrective surgery, roughly 25 years later, to remove the damaged tissue and improve the condition of her lips. By the early 2000s, some longtime fans began to question whether her changing appearance still reflected the actress they once recognized. In more recent years, particularly around 2024, Rinna openly acknowledged that some of her cosmetic fillers had not aged as well as she had hoped. In response, she made the decision to dissolve part of them, an honest and, to many observers, commendable step. Her story serves as a thoughtful reminder that even well-intentioned cosmetic choices can have lasting effects over time, and that self-awareness and openness can play an important role in navigating those changes. LaToya Jackson, the influence of the famous Jackson family. LaToya Jackson grew up as part of one of the most well-known families in entertainment, the Jackson dynasty, where talent, fame, and constant public attention were part of everyday life. From an early age, she lived under the spotlight, in an environment where image and presentation often carried significant weight. In the early 1980s, LaToya was known for her soft, natural appearance. However, by the early 1990s, noticeable changes in her look began to attract increasing public attention. Observers pointed to a progressively narrower nose, more defined cheek structure, and an overall tighter facial appearance. While Michael Jackson's well-documented history with cosmetic procedures often dominated media coverage, comparisons within the family were inevitable, and LaToya's evolving appearance was frequently discussed alongside his. Over the years, reports suggested that she may have undergone multiple rhinoplasty procedures, cheek enhancements, eyelid surgery, and the use of fillers. While not all of these claims were publicly confirmed, the overall effect of these changes gave her features a more sculpted and, at times, less flexible appearance. For many longtime fans, this transformation made it more difficult to recognize the natural beauty they had first come to know. Her story reflects the powerful influence of growing up in a world shaped by fame, expectations, and constant scrutiny. In such an environment, the desire to maintain or refine one's image can become deeply intertwined with personal identity. LaToya Jackson's experience offers a thoughtful perspective on how family legacy, public pressure, and the pursuit of an idealized image can shape not only a career, but also one's sense of self over time. Joan Van Ark, a well-known example of cosmetic overuse. Joan Van Ark was once one of television's most familiar and admired faces, especially recognized for her role on Knots Landing. During the 1970s and 1980s, she was known for a natural, refined beauty that resonated with audiences and helped define her on-screen presence. As the years went on, however, her appearance began to change in ways that gradually drew public attention. What may have started as subtle cosmetic enhancements appeared to evolve into more noticeable alterations over time. Observers suggested that procedures such as eyelid surgery may have affected her natural facial expressions, giving her a more fixed and less expressive look than before. In the years that followed, additional treatments, reportedly including facelifts, chemical peels, and the use of Botox, seemed to further transform her features. These cumulative changes contributed to a tighter overall appearance, with skin that at times appeared unusually firm. By the early 2000s, these differences had become more widely discussed. Many longtime viewers who remembered her earlier work were surprised by how much her look had evolved. Public reactions grew stronger, reflecting both concern and curiosity about the visible effects of long-term cosmetic intervention. Today, Joan Van Ark's story is often referenced in broader discussions about the risks of excessive cosmetic procedures. While personal choices about appearance are deeply individual, her experience highlights how repeated treatments over time can sometimes lead to results that differ significantly from what was originally intended. Goldie Hawn, the changing face of Hollywood sunshine. Goldie Hawn was once seen as the very embodiment of Hollywood sunshine. Radiant, playful, and instantly recognizable for her bright eyes and unforgettable laugh. For decades, she represented a natural charm that resonated deeply with audiences, making her one of the most beloved figures in American entertainment. As time passed, however, her appearance began to evolve in ways that drew increasing public attention. The warmth and spontaneity that once defined her look seemed, to some observers, to give way to a more polished and tightened appearance. By the time she appeared at the Academy Awards in 2014, these changes had become a widely discussed topic. Her cheeks appeared fuller, her skin smoother and more taut, and her eyes more open, creating an expression that some felt looked consistently surprised. Media reports and expert speculation have suggested that she may have used cosmetic treatments such as Botox, dermal fillers, facelifts, and eyelid surgery. It is important to note, however, that not all of these details have been publicly confirmed. Still, the visible transformation reflects a broader reality faced by many in the entertainment industry. Goldie Hawn's story is not simply about appearance or vanity. Rather, it highlights the ongoing pressure in Hollywood to maintain a youthful image, even as time naturally moves forward. Her experience speaks to a deeper balance many people face, the delicate line between preserving a sense of youth and maintaining the authenticity of one's identity. Lynn May, one of the most shocking injection gone wrong cases. Lynn May was once a striking symbol of exotic beauty and sensuality in Mexico, a celebrated showgirl and actress who captivated audiences throughout the 1970s and 1980s. With her vibrant stage presence, distinctive features, and confidence, she became an icon of her time, admired for both her talent and her appearance. However, her story later took a deeply troubling turn, becoming one of the most widely discussed cautionary tales in the history of cosmetic procedures. In an effort to maintain her youthful look, Lynn May sought injections to enhance her cheekbones. She was reportedly told the substance was collagen. Instead, it was allegedly an unsafe material, commonly described as baby oil or another non-medical oil, administered by an unqualified practitioner. The effects were both immediate and severe. Her face began to swell and develop irregular, painful lumps as her body reacted to the foreign substance. Over time, the damage led to significant facial distortion. For many longtime fans, her appearance became almost unrecognizable compared to the woman they once knew. In the years that followed, Lin May underwent numerous corrective procedures in an attempt to remove the injected material and restore her features. Despite these efforts, much of the damage proved permanent. Her experience highlights the serious risks associated with unauthorized or improperly performed cosmetic treatments. Today, her story stands as a powerful warning about the dangers of unregulated procedures and the importance of qualified medical care. Despite the physical and emotional challenges she has faced, Lin May has shown resilience, often speaking openly about her experience to help others avoid similar outcomes. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next one.